there's been a lot of negative vote for Aam Aadmi Party this time. Okay. He's been constantly cribbing, always trying to point fingers at the center. After a point of time, people don't like all that.
Looks like the Congress goes for a duck in this election.
We are doing an academic exercise. In case the two had fought together, probably the BJP would have faced a very formidable enemy.
Hello and welcome, I'm Vijay Srinivasan and this is Talking Sense with Srini. We are here in the climax of Delhi Dangal, where the Bharatiya Janata Party is all set to make a comeback after 27 years. Joining me is our editor-in-chief, Mr. Srinivasan. Sir, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, hi.
That's a huge comeback for the Bharatiya Janata Party, isn't it? As per the exit poll predictions. So what worked for the BJP and where do you think the AAP went wrong?
I think BJP's election machinery, all of us know, has been a very strong one. And they do a very good job, especially on the last few days of the election. I think they've repeated their performance. Second is the Revdi culture, which Prime Minister himself used to criticize. Let's now say that it has come back strongly and even BJP has embraced the same Revdi culture. There's a slight difference between the way BJP defines the Revdi culture for others and welfareism for itself. Call it by any name, it's basically a distribution of goodies to electorate. One of the biggest push perhaps came in the form of the break in income tax, which the middle class got. That's one major attribute, which should have helped. Plus, when Kejriwal was running a kind of a negative campaign, saying that if BJP comes to power, they'll withdraw all the freebies. Prime Minister had to come out and assure that no, it'll all continue. So in a way, BJP has now embraced the, if we call within quotes, Revdi culture. But I feel more than a positive vote, there's been a lot of negative vote for Aam Aadmi Party this time.
Okay.
Kejriwal has, I think, more or less run his course. He had a halo. He was seen as somebody who's fighting corruption. And he promised people of Delhi that he would provide an alternate vision of governance, which will be, completely spotlessly clean. But what they found, they gave him a second chance. They handsomely, people of Delhi voted him in the first time, which was a brief election. But then the second time in 2015, he got 67 out of 70 seats. Second time he got 62 out of 70 seats. Remarkable vote share of 53%. But then he ran into trouble with the central government. Of course, there was never a level playing field for governance or in elections in Delhi. We all know that. But despite that, people would have discounted that if Aam Aadmi Party has managed to give a modicum of governance. He's been constantly cribbing, always trying to point fingers at the center.
Yeah, that's right.
I think after a point of time, people don't like all that. So constantly he would say, which is true, LG is a problem. He was sent to jail. Corruption charges were imposed. The entire perception was built that, he too is corrupt. But then what did he do? Things like Sheesh Mahal began to, kind of stick.
That's right.
He was no longer seen as somebody who was above all this. And he and Aam Aadmi Party was continuously being now seen as someone which is like any other party. For instance, I think he made a very outlandish allegation that the entire waters of Yamuna have been poisoned, not even polluted, poisoned. I mean, these are highly outlandish stuff. And then he has a government in Punjab, didn't manage to, of course, there are geographical reasons also for pollution in Delhi, but his effort wasn't seen enough because constantly pointing fingers, blaming others. But on the other hand, I think BJP ran a very determined campaign for Prime Minister Modi. It's all elections are important. BJP, every election fights as if it's the last election of their life. They put all there. So a lot of central ministers were pressed into and administrative machinery, people complain that also benefited them. So these things do happen. All of us know that any government in power will have a kind of a, balance in favor of them. They have a advantage starting. But people beyond that, they want the politician to perform. I think that is where Aam Aadmi Party hasn't succeeded. I would say, finally, rather, I think it's more of negative vote against Aam Aadmi Party rather than a completely positive vote for BJP.
You seem to talk about the anti-incumbency here. Seems like an early holy for the Bharatiya Janata Party, and but the party never had a CM face this election, right? I mean, how do you see the Modi magic actually, sort of pave the way for the BJP's victory here? And who could be the probably the chief minister?
Right. The one trend you would have noticed, which started from Haryana elections, Haryana, Maharashtra, and even now in
Delhi as well.
Delhi. Prime Minister Modi did not have as many outings which he used to have earlier. See, earlier election, Himachal and all, he used to say, "I am the person, please vote for me. I am your representative." He has stopped saying all that. And BJP perhaps at some point thinks that pushing too much of Modi could be counterproductive. So they have actually cut back on that. It's actually a party's campaign which is very aggressively run. But he did came to rallies. He was still seen as somebody who's leading and guiding the party. But it was therefore Kejriwal who would often raise this question, who is opposing me? Who's there? So this question BJP didn't answer. And they decided that this election would be run purely on the basis of the party's overall strength. They still haven't declared, or still we don't know who's going to be the chief ministerial candidate.
Yeah.
I think they will pick up somebody who's extremely low key. One disadvantage which BJP always had, that they didn't have a senior leader, but they see it as a kind of an advantage. See, look at who thought Saini will become the chief minister of Haryana, or who thought Mohan Yadav will become the chief minister of Madhya Pradesh. They have been picking out people out of nowhere and making them as CMs. That's a new strategy which BJP has adopted. There, I think it is done because they could run the double engine sarkar far more efficiently if you have a new CM. It reduces in any kind of incumbency for them and gives a fresh face, and also perhaps the new CM will be far more accommodative towards the center. That could be one logic.
Man, looks like the Congress goes for a tuck in this election. The Congress's, defeat is kind of quite unsurprising there. Congress's performance has, in a way, paved the way for the BJP's victory, or weakening the Aam Aadmi Party in key seats in the national capital. What's your take on this?
Congress has a very difficult choice here to make. Should they continue as a part of alliance, or should they fight separately? I think, as usual, Congress took a decision but wasn't decisive about it, and it did not implement that very effectively. Look, one thing you have to admit about Kejriwal's Aam Aadmi Party, when you facing with such a powerful machinery as BJP, and they are also backed by RSS, so it's really a very powerful machinery which you are facing. But Aam Aadmi Party still have foot soldiers on the ground who managed to give a tough fight. In many rounds, they have managed to counter BJP. But Congress had to decide whether they want to be in an alliance or out of the alliance. Probably this was decided thinking that all regional parties, Congress has begin to see as some kind of a rival who take their vote share, which is true. It is entire Congress vote share which has gone to Aam Aadmi Party. So if they want to regain, and if they want to fight independently, then they must do some grassroots work, build cadres ground up. And that's a challenge which the Congress party must take. But they went in half-heartedly. They were neither here nor there. Middle of the campaign, it looked as if Congress party is not wholeheartedly inside this fight. Yeah. And then suddenly they didn't burst, and a few bursts, not continuously. If they had done, perhaps they would have even got a better vote share. what is it they have managed? I think last year the vote share was about 4.26%. It's now around 6.59. So it's about 2.5% vote share which they have gained. So you cannot say that this 2.5% vote share which they have got has resulted in advantage to BJP. Say for instance, BJP's vote share is now 47.05%. Aam Aadmi Party is 43, which has come down nearly 10%. Last time they had 53. These are not final figures. I'm roughly quoting after the 50% of the rounds which are over. There is a 4% difference between Aam Aadmi Party and BJP. And with this help of 4% swing, they managed to win about 19 to 20 seats. That's a huge gap. Whereas Congress has taken away 2.5% from. So the vote share, you have to add up about 9% vote share, which is, gone against Aam Aadmi Party. 4.5 plus 2. About 7 to 8% vote share has gone against them. So that's what has really, proved to be problematic for Aam Aadmi Party. The problem with Congress is that if they fight jointly and they went as an alliance with Aam Aadmi Party, the question is, do you think the outcome would have been different? Because
that's right, yeah.
Yeah, so the margin of vote share between first and two would have been between BJP and an alliance would have been very narrow. So in the first past post system, even a swing would have mattered. But here everybody was expecting that if the swing is more than 8 to 9%, then only BJP can actually win. So that did not happen. So we are doing an academic exercise. In case the two had fought together, probably the BJP would have faced a very formidable enemy.
That's right.
But that didn't happen. Yeah.
An extension of that question there. So if you're watching Indian television news channel this morning, you could probably see, Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress spokespersons fighting against each other. Some even, there's a lot of chatter about the India alliance sort of, breaking up and all this. Do you see this as a temporary thing, or is it how it's going to hinder the progress, the future prospects of this alliance?
Actually, India alliance doesn't exist anymore. But the alliance originally, let's go back and see how was it formed. It was formed basically for parliamentary election. There was it was not a permanent alliance in that sense, like an India alliance. There have been no meeting of India alliance. There has been no leadership being provided by Congress. Nothing of that sort happened. Actually, the alliance was more or less over after parliament election. But that's because the regional parties would see Congress as some kind of a problem. You see Mamata Banerjee, she wouldn't like to be seen in alliance in West Bengal.
Yeah.
Left parties, they wouldn't like to be seen in alliance in Kerala. Except Tamil Nadu, where the party is so down, the DMK has no problem allying with them. Shiv Sena has an alliance with Congress party, which is basically not so much from the same ideological thinking. They actually come from the opposite line of ideology, but they have an alliance there. Otherwise, you see...
But that's so Shiv Sena Bal Sab Thackeray.
Yeah.
UBT.
Yeah, UBT actually that's a different story.
There are two factions there. Yeah.
So it's actually Uddhav Thackeray I'm talking about, and NCP. That's the only alliance which Congress had. Shibu Soren, that alliance did work. Otherwise, this India alliance is more or less is not so much working.
That's right.
But what happens on crucial questions? You saw in Parliament. When issues...
One nation, one election.
One nation, one election. Or when Indians were returning from America who were sent back, immigrants, you saw the opposition getting together.
That's right.
So I think now it has become more where they see an opportunity and case-to-case basis they will get together.
Okay.
But electoral alliance more or less is not going to happen because Congress has also begun to see if they have to revive, then they have to fight alone. That's the experiment which they have tried in Delhi and miserably failed. Had they done it wholeheartedly, then maybe the thing would have been different. Look, why don't you look at it this way? Rahul is in Delhi, Priyanka is in Delhi, Sonia is in Delhi. They're all residents of Delhi. How many times they would have come out before this election to claim that they are actually citizens of that city?
That's right.
How many times they would have raised their voice against water pollution or air pollution in that city? So, somewhere they have missed all these points. If Aam Aadmi Party can build a strong grounds up network, why can't Congress do that? They, for so many years, have ruled Delhi so powerfully, where they had humongous vote share. And Sheila Dikshit, for 15 years, one of the most successful CMs. Why couldn't they do those things? I think it is for Congress party to sit and introspect when BJP is celebrating big. Modi is going to go to BJP office today.
That's right.
He is a victorious man. It's a further icing on the cake for him after Haryana, Maharashtra, and now Delhi.
That's right. So one last question there. So the BJP winning, there's been a lot of back and forth all these years between the federal government and the state legislature in Delhi. You see that easing up right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would personally really love to see Delhi getting,
The true double engine sarkar.
a true double engine sarkar where the Delhi air pollution goes. Everybody will be happy if they are able to clean Delhi of its dirty air. I think it's going to be difficult because it's also geographical reason. The way Delhi is, it's landlocked. But then they should try at least to reduce the pollution levels.
That's right.
It's been ridiculous. It's been about 1,000 and all. It's not livable. So if BJP really believes that they got Delhi, they have a task cut out for them. They must ensure that they have claimed that they're going to clear Yamuna waterfront, almost like what Gujarat Sabarmati River, the kind of things they have done. Yeah, one would like to see these changes coming. Of course, double engine sarkar would work there and there won't be any problem because otherwise they were actually, even the law and order would be in their hands. So they have no reason to, accuse others of, and they cannot bring Nehru here, by the way. So
but yourself
BJP,
as a resident of Delhi, are you optimistic about these issues being cleaned up?
I look forward to. I
Okay.
think they should, but some of these issues are very tough ones because you need a lot of money.
That's
But I'm sure the way he has changed the riverfront of Sabarmati, of course, environmentalists don't agree, but then he has managed to turn it around. Whether he will do it for Yamuna. Yamuna is a dead river now. It's highly polluted. And half of the city gets very dirty water. With so many pollutant inside, so many iron and other things, heavy metal, almost undrinkable water, and air is so polluted. So if the government does something, it will be really good.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks.
Thanks.